Hi, Massive D here. Welcome to another video. This time, I will show you how to find Mr. Elusive itself, the Exquisite Focus Crystal. Just like last time, we start in an Asp Explorer. However, this time, we'll need a more specific build. You can still use any of your favorite ships, just make sure they match the following criteria. The ship must be able to carry at least 90 tons of cargo. It must be able to land on medium landing pads. And last but not least, it should have a nice jump range, as our target is 288 light years away from Founder's World. Python is a very good ship for this, although personally I like the Asp Explorer. It does make me sacrifice the shield generator, however it gets me there much quicker. As my ship emerges into the inner station here, let's talk about what exactly is such a big deal about Exquisite Focus Crystals. Technically, there's currently only one use for them. You must have at least one to craft a charged enhanced power distributor. Unfortunately, that is the best variant of power distributors, and if you're a PvP player, this item is pretty much mandatory. Which wouldn't be such a big issue if the Exquisite Focus Crystal wasn't pretty much impossible to find. People spend weeks, sometimes even months, until they manage to find their first one. And what's most unsettling is that a lot of commanders claim they have never seen one at all. But for now, let's focus on the map here. This is a funky place called Shubabasi. And I love saying this word, Shubabasi, Shubabasi. It sounds like it could be something dirty. That's how Arnold finds dates in the club. Yeah, hi. Are you into governors? Come with me to my place. We can watch Pumping Iron while you give me a Shubabasi. Where are you going? I'm right here. Do it now, come on. Anyway, I didn't pick this location just so I could segue into a poorly executed joke. Shubabasi actually used to be quite famous for its Empire missions. However, these days, Shubabasi hides a secret. And I know what you're thinking right now. You're like, oh, just get to the fucking point already. But you see, it's not that simple. And I'll explain why. When I said earlier that the Exquisite Focus Crystal is pretty much impossible to find, I said that knowing it wasn't true. However, majority of people would agree that that is common knowledge. So what if I was about to say that under certain conditions, Exquisite Focus Crystals were just as common as articulated motors? You'd call me mad. And what if I said that those certain conditions are several top secret locations that players whisper down to players, ending with, shh, keep it to yourself? But before I prove it at the end of this video, I had to stop and think, how exactly did it come to this? Why is it that in an online game with nearly 1 million players, I am the one who's about to become Prometheus? I know I'm making it sound like some weird conspiracy, and no, it most definitely isn't. However, I am generally confused. Why is this not common knowledge in a massively populated game? My personal theory is that it's mainly variance. Elite Dangerous is a large number generator. And I'm not saying that the game is RNG based, I'm saying that technically even real life could be described as random number generator. Seemingly strange variants are possible. As you probably figured out by now, the place where we are going, Shubabasi, is one of these quote-unquote secret places. And when I said that Shubabasi is a somewhat famous place for Empire missions, I believe that this aspect is one of the reasons why people are unaware of the fact that exquisite crystals drop here more frequently than anywhere else. So how can this place be popular, yet nobody has figured out that you can get exquisite focus crystals here? If I had to bet my money on it, I would say that when people come here for Empire rank missions, they refresh the mission boards, they get what they want quite quickly, so they do not linger long enough for exquisite focus crystals to appear to them. And if they do get them, they will obviously take them, but since that's not what they are there for originally, they will most likely write them off as lucky pickups. But again, won't stay long enough to see the pattern. Others, who do stay long enough and do see the pattern, are also variants. Some of them, for example, have no interest in forums or socializing, so their knowledge is lost. Others might realize that they can get an edge by not telling anyone, so their knowledge is locked away. Some of them, however, will tell a friend, a lot of whom will just be variants, either too lazy to go on forums or keep their knowledge to themselves. And then there will be that one guy with enough time and interest to make a video about it. So it's not really a mystery, nor is it a conspiracy. I know about it since I was told by a good friend of mine. Somebody told him some time ago, and so on and so on. However, why Shubabasi is the way it is unclear. None of the people whom I talk to about it are aware if it's a flaw or design, and why there are other places like that, which by the way I can't confirm nor deny, since when I went to them, results were rather inconsistent, and I couldn't replicate them as well as Shubabasi. Confused yet? Yeah, that's why I said that this particular topic is not so simple. This is actually my third time remaking this video. First video I made was just a few minutes long and pretty much said, well, get an asp, go to Shubabasi, question mark, profit. However, when I showed it to a friend, he said that sure, now he knows where to get exquisite focus crystals, but the video raised a ton of questions that he now demands answers to. So I remade the video again. This time it was about 15 minutes long, and I included my personal opinion on what I think was wrong with the game, why certain mechanics should and should not exist, and in the process managed to bore myself to death with my own video after I rewatched it. So in this, hopefully final version of the video, I want to make as much sense as I can, but leave my subjective opinion out of it, thus in a way making sure that I in fact am not pretending to be Prometheus, who stole the fire from the gods and gave it to the people, but instead is just some bloke who noticed something odd and now has a video on it for all of you to form your own opinions on. And since I babbled long enough, and the proof is always in the pudding, let me just fast forward this to the point. So we finally arrive at Shubabasi, and we find a lonely station here by the name of Matthew's Mines. This station will be quite familiar to some of the Empire players, however others will be more aware of ground stations on the planet. I arrive at Matthew's Mines, and at this point I realize I'm on a collision course with the station, so at the last second I do a maneuver that even Lieutenant Pete Mitchell would be jealous of. I totally meant to do that by the way, and definitely haven't fallen asleep during the lengthy journey nearly splatting into the station walls or anything. At least that's my version of the story and I'm sticking to it. So a few things here. First of all, please note the timer at the top right corner. I will not show the entire footage of me refreshing mission boards. As I am recording at 50,000 bitrates, I really couldn't leave the screen capture running for an hour. The size of the footage would have been something like 80 gigs. However, from the timer you will see exactly how long it took me, even though the actual total is a bit shorter, since while I was recording this footage, a server restart happened. This can be verified by my forum activity as I went there to ask if the servers were okay, and was informed of the restart by moderator Ian Phillips. I will, however, leave a good minute of the footage in, showcasing what exactly you need to do when refreshing mission boards. Obviously, veteran players will already be aware of this, but for new players and for those who've heard the phrase mission stacking before, but haven't yet experienced it themselves, this is quite literally what it is. So I want you to put your comfortable pants on, sit down, relax, and enjoy this jaw-dropping, adrenaline-inducing EVO 2017 worthy hype-ass gameplay on YouTube.
Incoming message.
So there you go, Exquisite Focus Crystal in under 1 hour. This result can be replicated pretty much every time. However, depending on RNG, sometimes you will have to refresh for at least 2 hours, but on average, I get 1 crystal per hour. By the way, something very important. If you recall from the beginning of the video, I've warned you to bring at least 90 tons of cargo. And I do not know what's the explanation behind this, but every single Exquisite Focus Crystal mission I've gotten here required me to deliver 90 tons of cargo somewhere. I would insert the X-Files soundtrack here, but I'm new to YouTube and still not sure how copyright works, so I'll just avoid it for now.